Hi, I'm the PC Expert Amateur, and we're going to take a look at the other Barrow that I have, which is the it's another RGB. It's the full color BF04PR. And this is what it looks like. It's got a 6-pin Dupont connector instead of a 4-pin, and that handles both PWM and RGB. Or ARGB, whichever it happens to be. It has corner cushions. And one of the things that irritates me about these brands that are using these 6-pin JSTs and 6-pin DuPonts and stuff is then you have to buy a special connector for it. And some of these connectors will work with other brands, but mostly they don't. So this one takes the signal and separates it between PWM and RGB or ARGB. And this is actually designed to accept different kinds of connectors. Although you see a 6-pin, you have to have this to use this. Now, you can get a small one like this, which is for only 6 fans, although it does say 7. It's actually 6. I don't know why they say 6. I'm sorry, wait, I don't know why they say 7. And you can get power either from the motherboard or from the SATA as well. But there's a larger one that'll do 16. I don't want 16 Barrow fans because so far, as far as quality, they have not impressed me. So I got the smallest one I could find. And then I discovered that my other Barrow fan, which has 4 PWM pins and 4 RGB pins, would not work with the PWM. I could plug into here, but these ridges that are on the bottom side of the connector, like this one even has them. I don't know if you can see those very well, but those 2 ridges on either side. Well, if you want to plug something in, not this one with the 6 pins, but if you want to plug a 3-pin or a 4-pin or a 2-pin on here, you have to actually physically remove those things that are sticking out, those ridges or whatever, protuberances, whatever you want to call them, because the pins are too stiff and there is a plastic lip under the whole array of 6 pins. And you cannot, without forcing it, get it on without removing those 2 things. So it was irritating. I don't really care about RGB and ARGB. I mean, it's nice to look at, but ultimately, I'm not going to be looking at them when I'm using my computer. That's not what I bought a computer for. I have my screen that allows me to look at beautiful things. But I know there are a lot of people who are obsessed with showing off or, I don't know, getting high and staring at it or whatever. I really don't know. I mean, everybody has their own reasons for it. Or they just want an aesthetic that goes with the aesthetic of their room, or they're trying to make a theme. I think Snackson did an interesting one where she custom decorated her PC with a God of War theme, and she did a great job. I mean, I was really impressed with her skills, including doing a custom water loop. So I digress. So this is the Barrow DK401-7 7-way full function RGB and fan. Again, I don't know why they say 7. There aren't 7 connectors here. So, but however, again, if you have like a 4-pin PWM, you can shave off those 2 things, plug it into here. If you have a 3-pin, you can plug it in. There's actually a page. I will show you the page later on so that you can see for yourself what I'm talking about with the connection possibilities for this. But right now, the important thing is to show you this fan, and we'll go from there, all right? So, getting back to the fan, I'm going to plug it into the DK 0, what is it? I forgot. DK401-7. Yeah. So you can, as far as I can tell, there isn't a port number 1 or anything like that. A lot of fan hubs, fan controllers, nodes, and so on, repeaters, have a port 1, but it seems like with this one, that doesn't actually make a difference. But I'm going to test it, so I'm going to put it on a different one than I did last time. No, it lights up there. It lights up there. I'll try the other side. And it's a little bit tight. Okay, it does light up there. And there. And there. So it doesn't matter where you plug it in. It's going to work. And now, just to show you the lighting spectacle, it seems to have, here I'll turn this one around, seems to have pretty good intensity. Some of the fans that I've shown don't have this much vibrancy on, at least on my screen. I know that different digital devices see things differently, but for me, I see a really nice range of hues, and also on my screen I see a really nice range of hues. Not quite as good as what I see in person, but still pretty good. So that is very interesting to me. I believe there are 11 LEDs in here, if I remember correctly from what I was looking at earlier. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, and we'll make sure that there we go. Woo! All right, so let's find out. Oh, come on, don't turn off. Don't turn off. All right. So that's about the lowest speed that I can get it to safely. Well, so to speak, right? And it's very quiet. Let's go ahead and speed it up. It rapidly gets noisy. It's got a low hum, and then there's the medium noise of the wind. And that low hum is persisting, as is the wind, of course. That low hum is getting higher, and it's weird. I don't know if you hear it. Try to describe it in the comments if you can hear it. It's interesting looking at the fan blades and how here, let me just put it next to. Isn't that kind of wild? But that sound. I'm glad this would be inside of a computer case, because sitting next to my ear, I would either have to tune it out or turn it off, because it's just like a very odd noise. And I'm pretty sure this is one of the fans that they have discontinued because it's not on their website. I had to find it on other websites like PPCS, Performance PCs. All right, so let me just feel what kind of airflow we've got here. And it definitely cones outward. It doesn't seem to have very much static pressure. I don't know what the static pressure is, because they chose not to reveal the static pressure of this fan either, which is annoying. It seems to have worse static pressure than the BF01s that I showed earlier, and a couple weeks ago, or was it 3 weeks? But I do like how the fan blades are kind of producing that kind of ripple-ish effect, I guess you could say. That's kind of cool. All right, now let's go ahead and compare to the Noctua, for which I have to plug it in because I forgot. I just got back from visiting my mom. All right. And here we go. Oh, by the way, if you don't want the lights on with these fans, all you have to do is not plug in the ARGB or RGB connector to your computer, and then it will run. Or you can use software to turn them off. just starting to hear the Noctua. I don't know about you. But usually an NFA 12 by 25 cuts in with that high-pitched noise pretty fast, but there's so much noise from this Barrow that I can really, it's on maximum speed, I can barely hear the Noctua. So the amount of noise coming from the Barrow at so many different hertz is just, and kilohertz, I guess, is just overwhelming the Noctua's noise and making it seem like it's not even there. So let me go ahead and turn that off. Now you can hear it. Woo. Man, that is truly a noisy fan. Surprisingly, I think. But, you know, when you experiment with fans and you decide to produce a fan that is, in all honesty, not particularly well designed, in my opinion, that's what you get. And I say it's not particularly well designed because it doesn't have good static pressure. And to me, static pressure is important because we need static pressure to push air through heat sinks and radiators and dust filters, or pull it through, whichever happens to be the case. So the lights are nice, but ultimately we don't need lights. We need performance. And we're not going to really get much performance with this fan. Although the CFMs, the cubic feet per minute, the airflow, is pretty good on this fan, I will admit. Now you can actually disconnect this long fan cable here from this point right here. Let me turn that back that way. So right there. I'm not going to do that, but I just wanted to let you know that that is a possibility. So if you want to maybe daisy chain them, if you find a way to do that, then you have a much shorter cable. They don't come with a daisy chaining option other than the hub. So yeah, it is what it is. So these three Barrow fans have convinced me basically that I don't want to buy Barrow fans. But then again, I haven't tried anything newer than these, so maybe the newer Barrow fans are better quality than these. These all seem to have some pretty pathetic bearings, and this one in particular is noisy. I mean, 40,000 hours for a hydraulic bearing. That's a cheap hydrodynamic bearing, and is it worth it, even if it's $10, $15? I don't think so. For the amount of time you're going to be able to use it, you're better off spending a little bit more money and getting something better, or even less money and getting something better, like an Arctic P12 Max or even an Arctic P12 PWM PST, because those will last a lot longer. And there are a bunch of other fans that will too. So sorry, Barrow. If you would like to work with me so I can test more modern Barrow fans, I'll be happy to do that with you, but the conditions are mine. You don't get to impose any conditions on me. I buy the fans that you make, but I don't buy them from you, and you reimburse me. That way I can make sure that it's all legit and nobody can trick me with golden samples. But I know that's not going to happen with most companies because most companies either want to have an advantage or, they're going to look at me and they're going to be like, this guy's a nobody. I don't need to work with him. And that's fine. I respect that. I mean, I am, as far as the tech world is concerned, pretty much a nobody. So even though I have been in and out of tech most of my life, that's okay. Right. So again, you will need to buy a hub if you buy any of the Barrow fans that have the 6-pin Dupont connector. Or you'll have to custom modify the cable or buy an adapter that'll split it. I don't know if Barrow's, I don't remember seeing one on Barrow's website, but I don't know if I don't remember if I actually looked hard enough to make sure. I'm pretty sure I did, but yeah. So that there is one more thing I want to do. I'm gonna put you on hold for a second. So just hold your breath. Yeah, I was looking at one more source to see if I could find out the static pressure, and it didn't have it either. So that's pretty much it. Please like, subscribe, and share. Help me build this channel so we can have a great fan resource and eventually cooler resource for consumers. That's my goal, to help you guys. And let's take a look at the data now. All right, so the Barrow or Dezhou Zhongjia Hardware Products Company Limited, sorry for the slaughtering of your language, RGB full color fan BS-BFO04-PR, and this is a black fan with white, translucent white blades. Sorry, it's a $15 fan, and I saw it for a little bit more than that, plus shipping on one of the websites I looked at, and I think another one had it a little bit cheaper than that. So it's going to be somewhere between $15 and $20, including shipping. And it's certified by CE and ROHS, made in China, 120 by 25 millimeter fan. It has a lifespan of only 40,000 hours, and it has 11 RGB LEDs. Although I couldn't see them all, that's what it says in the documentation. It weighs 128.4 grams. Now, if we take a step back here and compare this to the Noctua NF-A12 by 25 at the top there in orange, we can see that it's way behind in terms of lifespan, because the Noctua has at least 150,000 hours plus a 6-year warranty. The Barrow doesn't seem to have any warranty at all. And it's a lot lighter than the Noctua, of course, because the Noctua is 200 grams. This fan has 11 blades versus Noctua's 9. Standard mounting hole distance. The RPM range is between 900 and 1900 with a variance of 100 RPMs, plus or minus, whereas the Noctua is 450 to 2000 RPMs with a variance of 10%. So that's, at the low end, that would be 45 RPMs, and at the high end, that'd be 200 RPMs. Then the airflow at minimum is 33.92 cubic feet per minute. At maximum, it's 68.65 per minute. And I'm going to go ahead and at this point, I'm just going to say, since we don't have static pressure information and it doesn't feel like there's very much static pressure, that this fan is going to be suitable for lesser heat sinks and cases only. Probably never going to be a good idea to put on a radiator unless it's a very thin or low density radiator, or both. And then the minimum decibels is 21.8, goes up to 32.2, but it is quite, I would say this is an underestimation of the sound profile. Once I start doing my sound testing, I'll be able to confirm whether my guesses on what's yellow and what's green. Green means it's too high and yellow means it's too low. Then I'll have a better understanding of that. But at this point, with the Noctua supposedly being 22.6 maximum, which I don't believe, and yeah, this one was louder than the Noctua, as you just experienced, I hope. And oh, by the way, the Noctua has a maximum airflow of 102.10, or 1 actually, and a maximum static pressure of 2.34 millimeters of water. And the fan's cable for the Barrow is 53 centimeters versus the Noctua's 20.5, but the Noctua does come with a splitter, a low noise adapter, and an extension cord, so that doesn't really matter. You can make it pretty darn long with those 3 things. Also, there's no daisy chaining, there's no sleeve. It's a 6-pin Dupont for PWM and ARGB connection, and a crappy hydraulic bearing versus the Noctua, which is just PWM. And it does have a sleeve, but no daisy chaining, and an SSO2 bearing, which is fantastic. We've only seen one that was almost as good as it, and one that was a little bit worse than that one that almost matched the Noctua in terms of how little friction interferes with it slowing down or speeding up. It has a voltage of 12 with a starting voltage of 6 and a range of 10.8 to 13.2 volts. And the rated wattage is 3, the rated amperage is 0.25, and the lighting is 5 volts. And finally, There are no indicators of rotation and flow. It turns in a clockwise direction, and the only things either I lost the screws or there were no screws with this fan. I'm really not sure which. The box doesn't help me at all. So it does have corner cushions, and it doesn't offer anything else, and unfortunately, but we can only do what we can do with what we've got here. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Please like, subscribe, and share.